Hello friends, welcome to part 2 of the React Hooks series. So here what we are going to do, we are going to continue on the first part, and we are going to learn more about use state. So there are a lot more thing about use state than what we have learned in the previous part. So we can use it with previous state also. Actually we have seen a similar example in class based component also, but we will see it here also. Use state with previous states and why it is required. So let me go now. I don't want this, want a new file. So this is my old code which we have used in the first part. So hook counter 2 dot js. Let me do one thing. Let me increase the size a bit for the VS Code. Okay, so yeah, so counter 2 is there. RAFCE hook counter 2, and then use state will be there. And const, we are going to take a variable initial count equal to 0, then const count comma set count equal to use state, and the initial count, instead of 0 we are taking the initial count. The initial count is obviously 0, so like this. And then count is count button reset button, the on click handler on click, set count to initial count. So it is setting it to 0 when I clicking on the reset button. Let me have it two more time. This one will be called increment, and this one will be called decrement, and this initial count will be count plus 1, increment will be count plus 1, and this one will be count minus 1. So let me save it. Now let us use this, and let me remove all this. We don't want all this. Let's keep only the one thing which is there. Hook counter 2, yeah. So it is been done, and increment and increase the size here also. So increment will work, decrement will work, reset will work, everything is perfect. So what is the issue? So the issue is that, as we have seen in the class based also, suppose we have another button, we want to increment 5 at the same time, increment the count by 5 at the same time. So increment 5 is there. Okay, on click, I'm calling a function increment 5. So it's time to create that function increment 5. As always, the arrow function, so that we don't have this mess. So for let I equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and inside this I will just have a set count plus 1. So I am thinking that when it will loop 5 times, it will increase it by 5. So let me save it. And this should increment it by 5, but it incremented by 1, because as we have learned in the previous part also, what React does, it does auto performance when it sees so many set counts at the same time, so it will do it one. So in those things we need the previous count. So prev count, it is very easy to access it here, prev count, and here. So just we have to write prev count, and this is a function. See, whenever we give this flat arrow, it means it's a function. So it is giving a prev count, it is taking a parameter and it is calling a function. So prev count plus 1. Let me save it. Sometimes it doesn't get refresh. It is working fine. Okay, and it's better to change it here also. So prev count is nothing but the previous state of count it is taking into consideration. Let me save it. Yeah, it is working as usual. Yeah, it is working fine. So let me also quickly show the means what will be the class equivalent of this. See, we have learned it earlier, but let me show quickly. So that you can refer to it. Class counter.js RCE. I'm just going to write the code r const count is 0, then button this data state dot count on click equal to this dot increment count. So let's just quickly create it. and then this dot set state. So I'm only creating one, not three. So this dot set state priv state and return count is previous state plus 1. So this is the equivalent code. Maybe you can think it of the equivalent code of your increment function, increment priv count plus 1. So this is so complicated, and this one was so easy. So this is the equivalent code. So I'm not going to use it or something. This is the equivalent code, and we have learned it very well when we have done the class based component. So now we will see another thing in the use state. So see, till this use state, what we have done, this count is a number. So it is obvious it can be a string or something also like that. But what if we want it as an object? Just like in the normal class based component we have object, so we can have object here also. So let us do that. Hook counter 3.js rfce, and then let me close it. Const name comma set name is there, then use state, and here we are using an object. So name can be first name and the last name, so we are doing that. First name is an empty string, last name is again a empty string. Okay, so here let us have a form, because we are going to have input boxes. Input type equal to text, as with React we have to have the value thing. So value, how we will access the value? So name is there, dot first name, it is obvious, then on change handler in input box it will give us e. So we could have write a different function also, but it's better to write it here itself. Set name and because we have an object here, see here we don't have an object and we can use it like this. Let me open a simple example actually. So we have done this count plus 1 directly, but here it is an object, so we have to do it inside an object. So set name that object is there, first name e dot target dot value. So like this it will be done. It is giving me error because I have not closed it, and it is done. I just have to copy paste it, first name, and this will be last name, and let us show whatever the user inputs. H2 first name is name dot first name last name let me save it. Remove it, add the new hook counter 3, auto import is done, save it. Hope it will do. User state is not defined. Okay, see, that's why you have to give the use state, save it. So we have two boxes. This one is for the first name, this one is for the second name. Hope everything works fine. So Bindu, yeah, it is working fine. Biswas, what happened? The moment I typed Biswas, then the Bindu was gone. Let me come back again here. And the moment I type something here, it goes here. It goes blank in the next part. Biswas. See. So it is not working properly. The same code would have worked properly in use state, in your set state, but it is not properly. So to check what is wrong, we will add one more line of JSX here, S2. JSON dot stringify name. So let us see what is there in the name. So let me refresh it again. See, when we started, first name and the last name, they are blank, so just like which we had given here. So then I am typing the Bindu. So see, the second last name, the property itself is gone. I will type Biswas, that property itself is gone. I will again come here and do this, the property itself is gone, and do this, the property itself is gone. So this is the issue with use state, that is, it doesn't automatically update and merge the object. Because it is not specifically for objects, so it doesn't do this thing. This is in, if you have used set state, it is done automatically because it only have an object thing. But here you can use object, string, we'll soon use array also, so everything you can use. So it is not, it doesn't work like that. So there is a very simple solution when we use object in your user state. And the thing is that we use the spread operator to copy anything in the array. So this is the thing in which nowadays we use in array a lot. See, we copy the every other properties, and the property which is changed. So we just have to do dot name comma here. So we are spreading it, and what it is saying, the new state will be the old state, everything in the old state, first name, last name, another 10 properties can also be there, and but we are changing the first name. Similarly here also I'll do the same, one time only. Let me save it, let me refresh it. Now quickly see, Bindu, last name is still there. Let me Biswas, see, last name is still there, so it is working fine. So this completes the user state with object. So last thing means now we will see the user state with array. So for that, again we'll go here, new component, hook counter 4.js RAFCE hook counter 4 const I don't want two of them. Let me do the mistake which I've done earlier. I should not do that again. Use state. Let me have some space here. Const items comma set items equal to useState, and I will give an empty array. Okay, so items is initially equal to an empty array. Then let us have a button and add a number. A button is there which is telling add a number. On click equal to calling a function add item. So let us create that function. Const add item and then set items, and here again we need to create an array. So array, and what we are going to create, we will create array of object. So set item inside an array, we will take the dot items. Again we are using the spread operator. So anything which is there in the items earlier, so if you don't do this, the earlier thing will not be copied and a new array will be formed. So dot items, and then id is, in React everything means should be unique. So id we are making it as unique as item.len, because item will increase in size. So every time, first time it will be 0, then 1 2 3 4 5, it will be like that length. And we are passing a value also, which can be anything, but this is not, we are not learning something complicated here. So I'm just using the mat.random into 10, just creating a random number. Okay, so this will add the item, but to add the item we have to show it also. Let us show it, and we will show it within a ul unordered list. So items is already created. Whenever we click on it, a new item will be created. Then so again, this is again the same concept which you all know, that when set state is run, the re-render happens. So here also, when the set state will run, this will run again. So the moment I click add a number, this will run add a number, and this will run again, and of which it will show the new updated thing. Dot map, I'm going to map to it. Items is an array, item, align, item dot value, and we want want a key. That was one of the most important thing. We took the ID. Key equal to item dot ID. Let me save it. And then let me remove this, and hook counter 4. It is saved. Add a number. I click on add a number. New add number is clicked. So it is working fine. So this completes our part 2 of the series. Hope you learned everything about useState. See you soon in the next part.